everybody. So nice to see you guys. I apologize. My voice is a little bit raspy right now. I just did a full day of music teaching, and you know when you're singing and doing all that stuff, sometimes you lose your voice. So I'm gonna do this as best as I can. I haven't gone live in a really long time. So we are going to cover some cookies today. I'm just gonna get on here so I can see the chat. All right. Hi, Jenny, nice to see you. Okay, I'm gonna get out my scissors here and everything that I need. Gonna get my better scissors. So I know my thumbnail was a bit deceiving. It showed some cookies that I made a while ago, but I just wanted to put a pretty picture of some Valentine's Day cookies. So here we are, going to get started. Hi guys, hi everyone, so nice to see you all. I have such special cookie sets for you guys to share. All of the cookie cutters that I'm using today are from Kaleido Cuts, and man, that shipping was so long, but so well worth it, because you really can't get these really adorable cutters anywhere else. All right, I'm gonna get started here, and I apologize if I don't answer you guys right away. We're gonna get started, and then I can start looking at some of the things that you guys are doing. So here I have my pipe and flood consistency. Now, this is always a bit of a guess. Even for me now, it's a bit of a guess. You can see when I let it down there, it is gonna go back into itself fairly quickly. That's what we want. We don't want it too quick so that it's like soup. We want it to have some viscosity so that it goes back fairly slowly. But eventually it does go back. So always my recipe is 1 cup of icing sugar to 1 tablespoon of meringue powder, and then I add as much water as needed. And I know we as bakers sometimes don't like that type of measurement, like as much as needed, how much is needed. Well, the reason I say that is because in different humidities and climates, you're going to get different amounts of water because of the heat. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure to put my oven to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to hit start on that. That is so we can get dehydrating. So my general station I have set up here, I've got my icing, I have a bunch of my tipless piping bags, I have some colors that are there, and I also have my bowls ready to go, and my saran wrap as well. We're going to start off really easy. We're going to go with white. I always like to fill my tipless piping bags first, and then cut. So that when I'm doing this with pipe and flood, it's not going to all get out everywhere. Now you might want to clip on the top. Sometimes I clip it, sometimes I don't. It depends what I'm doing. You'll notice I filled very little amount because I want to make sure that this is actually the right consistency. We can always fix it later on. I'm going to take my saran wrap and I'm going to make sure to cover the rest here. Hello everybody. Hi Travis. Hi Dee. Hi Stars Home Cafe. Hi Kevinish, Marcella, Arlissa, Caribbean Kitchen, Humberto, Kathleen. Hi guys. Okay, here we go. We're going to cut off a small tip. I always say try to cut it slightly smaller than a number 2 tip, because it's going to stretch just a bit. Sometimes if it's a less detailed thing, I'll go like a number 3 or 4. But you never know. And notice I cut it 2 ways. So I went one way like this, and then I squeezed it the other way to even it out. Otherwise, you end up with weird curling going on. Okay, so these are actually say, I choose you. Kaleido Cuts is very interesting in that they have these ones that have specific words on them. You do have to use a projector, or you can just look at the picture and do it. To make it really simple, we're going to go all white on these first, and then I'm going to project in my other video where I'm actually going to do it. So with this, I can just follow my outline completely. And notice I am leaving quite an edge. This gives us the ability, if the icing is too loose, it's still going to be able to stay on the cookie without over flooding. I mean, there's always the risk of over flooding, that can always happen. I get a lot of questions of, oh, should I pipe first, let it dry and then go, or should I just do it right away? If you want the puffy icing, if you want this quality where there's no definitive line, this is the way you gotta do it. And don't worry. Again, don't worry if it's not, see there, it's not perfect, all good. Just fill it in a little bit as you go. And I am filming this in good quality and 4K quality at the same time on my other camera. So if you guys see me pause or something, it's just because I'm making sure that that's getting filmed properly. So if you guys like to work a little bit faster, you can. By making sure the hole is a little bit bigger. And you can do really fun things with something like this, where you fill it, and then you can airbrush it. Maybe I'll airbrush some of these later. All the details for all of these cookies are going to be done in separate videos. I'm going away for the weekend to celebrate my 14-year anniversary with my husband, so I am hopefully going to have all these videos just kind of back to back, ready for you guys to go. Now I used to do this where I would fill it in with a spoon, just spoon my icing on. I always wondered why cookiers did it with a piping bag. I never really understood why. Other than, you get a little bit more precise. But I have learned that if you don't do it with a piping bag, then you end up with a lot of air bubbles, and you end up with a lot of messiness. So, and the quality is just never as good. You end up with craters. So this is the way to go for sure. Seems a little slower, but in the end, you won't have to cover as many mistakes. I want you guys to look at that first one that I did. Do you see that? I didn't have to shake it. I didn't have to get out my cookie scribe, and it's completely fine. It's all kind of melted into one another. That is the beauty of getting the right pipe and flood consistency. I know I talk about this a lot in my videos, but I find that because I've said it so many times in a plethora of my videos, I often will just say, get the right pipe and flood consistency. And honestly, that's not the best teaching sometimes, because sometimes we do need to be reminded of what that exactly means. So this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it down into a shorter video, and I'm just going to call it, I don't know, like Flooding 101, everything you need to know about flooding, because I really feel like I haven't done that part justice. And if you have flooding down with cookies, you pretty much have everything that you need to know done. Because other than that, it's really about your piping skills. It really is about, are you precise? Can you do it? And that's just something you need to work on. But flooding, I think, is something that everybody can do if they just get that right consistency. So earlier off my live camera, I did show you guys how to make my royal icing step by step. It's really funny, these basic videos that I've missed out making, because in the beginning, I was so consumed with being original and doing original things, when in reality, I really think what you guys want to see sometimes is the basics, because that's where the foundation of your skills is really going to be important. So again, we're already going matte already, and that's the beauty too of making sure that you have enough meringue powder in there. Okay, we're gonna go in. So remember I said this said I choose you. These are little gumball machines. So I'm going to start with the circular part. Now I am looking here as a reference on here. I'm looking at the I choose you. It looks like they actually flatten this part out a bit, so I will flatten it as well. Oh, Jenny, don't worry. We've all been there trying to finish up orders, and I do not miss the order life though, my friends, I will tell you that. I love being able to just come on here with you guys, show you what I want to show you, and go to bed at a reasonable hour. Now for these ones here, if you wanted to, you could do some sprinkles on here, like right here at the base to make it look like the gumballs. I'm actually going to fill it in with something different. I'm going to fill it in with some sprinkles, but I'm also going to do some 3D work and some airbrush work on that as well, so that it really gives us the illusion that it's filled with gumballs. In a cute, cartoony way, of course. It's not going to look super realistic. With these piping bags, these, I think these ones are from Amazon. You don't want to overfill them because, I mean, they're very cheap, these ones, which is a good thing because, you know, when you're using so many piping bags for royal icing and you're just doing pipe and flood, you don't need to buy the expensive ones. Let's not break the bank on things that you don't have to. For this, though, I find I can get away with it, and that way I don't feel bad about using multiple piping bags for one job. Some people like to go in and use cookie cutters to draw in the lines. I just wing it, totally up to you. This is what I've really learned over my time though, making videos for you guys and tutorials. There is no right or wrong way to do anything. Some people like to do cookies one way, some people like to do it another way, and it really just is about, did you come up with a product that you liked, yes or no? I want to get more into chocolate work. I really want to start decorating with more chocolate, making more chocolate-based cakes. That's what I've been thinking about doing. Okay, so these ones are now ready to go into the dehydrator or the oven. Now I invested in like 2 dehydrators because I was like, oh, I'm gonna dehydrate my cookies. Honestly guys, oven is good enough. 175 degrees Fahrenheit, these are gonna go in. I'm just gonna put them in for the amount of time that it takes me to pipe the next set. All right, this next set here, I'm going to do a few white parts because I'm going to do some of those that I'm going to airbrush. These are also some little bumblebees. This is a Be Mine cookie. Of course, you can't tell what it says, but it is a Be Mine cookie. So I'm going to outline. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to look at my picture again. I'm going to refer to this bee here. Okay, it looks like the bee is all one body except for the wings. So I'm gonna make sure that the wings are like this. This would look cute too if you did like a sanding sugar wing. I love using opal sanding sugars on something like that. And don't worry about your cookies drying out with the dehydrator or the oven, whatever you're using. They're going to be just fine. You're not leaving them in there for a significant amount of time, nor is the temperature at like 350. How many of you guys have tried my sugar cookie recipe? I love how smooth the cookies turn out. Truthfully though, I mean, if you have an ugly, imperfect looking cookie, who cares? Because you can just cover it up. But if you're ever doing something where you're not actually decorating it, then that matters. And see, you can kind of fudge it on these edges here. Like, not all of my edges were super perfect when I piped them. I'm just kind of faking it a little bit. I fake it when there's those detailed points, especially because I know that this is not actually creating the actual words or anything. I'm just putting in a background, and then I'm going to have to pipe in all of those words with a little bit of a thicker icing, slightly. I rushed home, guys, so I could do this live for you because I lose the light so quickly, and I really don't like it when I have to film with artificial light. But the days are getting longer again, so I'm super happy about that. Just gonna read some of your questions here, guys. Do I have the recipe for the icing? I will put the recipe for the icing in my video that is fully edited of this. Always up till midnight, days before every holiday. I know. Been there, my friend. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so glad, Kathleen, that it turned out with your sugar cookies. That's fabulous. Okay, we could also do wet on wet technique for that. That'd be fun too for these cookies. We'll see. We'll see where it takes us. Some people are just so good with the wet on wet technique. I'm okay, but it's not my favorite thing. You guys know me, I love my airbrush. Well, I have a love-hate relationship with it. When it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't, I'm sad. Rachel, for those of you that don't know, is my friend that owns Happy Cakes Bakery. She is obviously gearing up for Valentine's Day. So that is going to be a fun video I'm going to put together for you guys. So many pre-orders, like so many pre-orders. I do not know how she does it, just thousands of cupcakes. She is a cookie hater, though, I will say. She does not like to decorate cookies. She'll go through phases where she has like times when she wants to decorate them, but Definitely not a cookie for lifer. Okay, we're actually gonna do something a little different with these ones. So I'm gonna leave that for a minute. We'll go back to those. I'm actually gonna come here. I know you can't tell what these look like. These are robots. How cute. Robots, and they're like, they disconnect, so they all connect together. I never had a set like that, so I'm just so thrilled. I'm gonna take out those other cookies that I have in the oven, and I wanna show you guys. Look at that, it's just so, it's fairly smooth. This one here is pretty good. Got a little bit of ripple here, but again, no big deal, because we're gonna cover it up. Bunny transfers, fun. Are you gearing up for Easter already? Okay. Oh, no, that's... If you ever get like royal icing stuck on something, never try to make it work, just get a new bowl. Okay, I'm gonna make some gray here. Today I'm going to be using a selection of Chef Master and a Mirror Color. It's always like the debate, you want to make enough, but you don't want to make too much. Okay, I need a spoon. I'm going to add in a little bit of black. Sometimes when black gets angry at me and gets clogged, I'm going to add a little bit of black. That wasn't a little bit, that was a lot. That's okay. We'll add in some more white. Yeah, if you put too much water in your royal icing, you're going to need to add icing sugar or meringue powder. So I always reserve a little bit of icing sugar when I first started out because you never know. Okay, I added in a little bit of yellow. You might find that odd. It's because sometimes the black for Chef Master goes a little purple. So I went a little bit yellow to offset that. Okay, what I'm going to do, because this is very black, and I'm sad about that, and that happens, is I'm going to do my bumblebees first here. And that color is also going to darken up over time as well. So I'm just going to cover that because I have to make sure that I get my yellow ready right away. I don't know about you guys, but when I was doing orders, I really loved watching lives because I felt like someone was in the same boat as me. Struggling through. Okay. Gonna make our yellow here. Not too much because our bees are kind of small. Oopsie, sorry guys. Little earthquake for you. Okay. Here, let's do this. And I will probably airbrush my cookies because you guys know me. Here. I'm gonna go a bit punchier with my yellow. Coloring is half the battle. Like, this was the reason why I would charge so much for coloring, because as you guys can see, I know I'm just mixing colors, but it takes such a long time. Alright, so for this bee also has glasses, which is super cute. Okay, we're gonna go full yellow body with 2 black stripes. Yes, definitely add more both. You want to add both meringue powder and icing sugar. The biggest mistake I ever made when I first started cooking was only adding icing sugar, because that's what every single tutorial and video told me. You gotta add in that meringue powder as well, because you're never ever going to get that type of viscosity that you're looking for if you don't do that. Because if you just add in icing sugar, it starts getting more thick, and then that's when you end up with all those burst piping bags. So my advice to you, definitely add more meringue powder. Yep. Yes. Decorating cakes too. It's all that coloring that I'm like, please, someone do it for me. Like, even when I go help Rachel out, I am so grateful, because she will color things so quickly, so that all I have to do is actually pipe it. It's so interesting how coloring can change your consistency. Like right now, my yellow is a lot more viscous, I would say, than my black. Hi, Leah. So nice to have you on a live. Amazing. I know I feel like this might be an odd time for other people around the world, but it's literally the only time when my kids are still out and I can get this done. All right. Here we go, my friends. Let's do, so yeah, you can see this area here. Those are actually the bee's glasses. So we're gonna make them perfectly like this. I'm debating whether to do wet on wet. I think we might do wet on wet for this. Okay. I'm gonna leave those little heart ear things. Oh, interesting. Okay. It's very funny how I have to think about this. Okay, I think this will work. I'm going to leave quite an edge on this because we need to do the wet on wet. So I don't want it to overflow. And if you notice that you've left your icing colors for a bit and they keep getting looser and looser, that happens, so you need to re-whip. Okay, I'm gonna let that settle for a sec. I'm gonna get my black here. Now we're going to do 2 stripes kind of on the bottom here. Some people like to map this out first. I never map. Because I'm risky. And we don't want that color bleed, so we're gonna get that, we're gonna put this into the dehydrator for sure. Also known as my oven. And when I'm doing that, I'm dropping it down. I'm not actually holding it against the cookie at all. Let's do 1 more. There we have our bee, wet on wet. So you gotta be really, really careful with it. You don't wanna be too crazy. I'm gonna wait to add in the antennae there because if I add it now, it's gonna meld together. It's not gonna be as perfect. So I'm gonna wait to do that one. I'll do the next one. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying my recipes. I really don't make that many recipes. I feel bad when some people ask me, what's your recipe for this? Because, and it's not that I don't want to share. I literally use a lot of other people's recipes because I am not a huge reinvent the wheel type person. And there are so many great ones out there, but the sugar cookie is the one thing where I am like, that is the recipe I need to use because the other ones I found just don't work out for me as well. The weather here in Vancouver is like so odd these last few years, I would say. Like right now it's sunny and it's been raining all day. You'll notice I'm using tipless piping bags. I talk about these a lot in my videos. I avoid using metal tips now for stuff like this because it ends up just getting clogged so easily. And when I first started learning to do cookies, I heard a lot like only pipe in one direction, only do this or it's gonna get clogged. And now I don't have to worry about clogs at all and I can pipe in whatever direction I want. You'll notice I'm adding a little bit of a curvature to the line. This is so that the bee looks nice and cute and plump. Again, I'm dropping it down, not putting my piping bag through anything. Dropping down those lines, filling in those blanks. Okay, I'm gonna go in to my next line. And don't worry, my friends, if you can't stay for the full duration. I am going to edit down things. Okay, fabulous. Let's mix up some pink. Let's do that. Oh no. I'm not going to worry about that. I forgot these are not fully dry. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to do that over top. Okay, let's do some pink here. Getting colorant on me. Classic. It is so quiet in my house right now, which it never is. It's why you very, very rarely ever hear raw sounds, because usually it's just so noisy. Yes, the tipless piping bags, they are my fave. Once I place this in the oven, I can do whatever I want with it right away. So about 5 minutes, and then you can go ahead and pipe on top. Which is the beauty of dehydrating, which I didn't learn for a long, long time. Okay, let's do pink. Yay! I've avoided doing a lot of red this Valentine's. It's just, people don't like to eat the color, and you guys know how it is. So I've been getting away with doing a lot of pink, which I'm on board with. Who else is a pink person as opposed to red for Valentine's? Even for Christmas, I try to sneak in some pink. I just bought some pink Tinker Dust. So excited. Shout out to Kitchen Jukebox. Love them. They are not my sponsor, but man, their products, like nothing can be, I haven't seen that selection of products from a Canadian company. And I know obviously they didn't make the products, but their ability to carry so many things that are awesome and very unique from such a large amount of suppliers is very impressive to me. And the turnaround time was really not bad at all. Yes, don't put your cookies in for like an hour. Just do it for like 5 to 10 minutes. And you will end up with beautiful, beautiful cookies. We're gonna go with our hearts here. I'm going classics here. Should probably turn my camera back on. This camera, I love the quality. Hate that it gets overheated really easily. Shout out to you guys if you remember the days when I solely recorded with my phone. But then, of course, I had storage problems. You can never win. So Pipe in the Flood is really just a series of figuring out which things are actually going to work for you and what order to do them in. These are little bugs, the VW bug. And hearts on the top. Yes, this is giving me life, these hearts. Isn't it funny how one color can just change the way you look at it completely? The cars are a little bit more involved, so I'm definitely going to do more of that on the another version of the video. Okay. If any of you guys are fellow YouTubers or you create social media, I think I have got that game covered on how to reuse videos to make different videos. So I'm definitely going to make several videos out of this. Okay, I'm going to take this and pop it into the oven for about 5 minutes, not too long. I really don't want those bees to bleed out, so that's why I'm doing that. Okie dokie. Next up, so we've got our robots here, and we've got the hearts that they're holding, and these are Pop-Tarts. How fun is that? Again, the Pop-Tarts are a little bit more involved, so I'm going to do a separate video on that. Let's have a little fun with these hearts. This is probably going to be the last little demo part for you guys, because my kids will be coming home soon. So this heart I'm going to leave plain, but this next one here, let's do some fun things. I'm going to make that a little smaller, get that edge. Let's make this fun. Let's do some polka dots. I'm losing my light here. I know it doesn't look like it on the camera because iPhones are amazing for that, but I am. Okay, so I'm gonna go little dot. How fun, right? This robot is so cute. Let's do another plain one. Let's do this last one here. What do you guys usually wear to decorate sugar cookies? I know it's kind of a weird question. I am like 90% of the time in my pajamas. But I get pretty dressed up for work, so when I do lives like this after work, I just stay dressy. And the robot's hands are going to go over this. So I do want to make sure I do the robot's hands second. I guarantee if my husband would walk in right now, he'd say, "Don't you want some light?" Very reminiscent of when my mother would say the same thing when I was practicing piano. "Don't you need some light?" Let's do some wet on wet. Again, if you haven't decorated a lot of cookies, mastering the dot, mastering the line, all important. All right, guys, so my children have now arrived home. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys learned something about piping and flooding. It was really nice getting to interact with all of you. So I will have that video out a little bit more clearly on pipe and flood, probably after Valentine. So I'm probably actually going to show you guys the sets before Valentine so you can speak them in, and then I will release the actual pipe and flood consistency video later on throughout next week. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love you guys. Bye.